I don't know why. Facebook announced on Wednesday, today, that its reactions feature has now rolled out worldwide. Reactions is basically an extension of Facebook's like button, and it's designed to give users more emotional expression when commenting on or reacting to a friend's post, according to ZDNet. Now, instead of a basic thumbs up, users can choose between love, wow, angry, sad, and haha emotions. To add a reaction on mobile, users have to hold down the like button to see the emoticon options. Desktop users have to hover over the like button to see the reaction images, and those will open up. So now you can comment. I guess you can sort of, instead of liking, now you're doing a bunch of different emotions. I don't know if Facebook is going to be adding any more in the future. Originally, too, we thought there were going to be 7. Social Network launched a pilot of the reactions last year in Ireland and Spain. Yay was one of them. But that didn't carry over to the rollout here in North America, interestingly enough. So one man, Krug, who is Sammy Krug, who's a product manager, said that Facebook plans to pay close attention to the Facebook feedback to determine if the current batch of reactions are the ones that users are actually wanting. So it's an interesting choice on Facebook's part, although it's not really necessary. I don't really get it. Honestly, it's not something that I would have done were I the CEO of Facebook. If I were Mark Zuckerberg, I would just say, well, add a dislike button and that'll be the end of it. Because that you'd think that would be pretty easy. But for some reason, Facebook decided to do what it did, which is not the best thing ever, honestly. It's really not. It's interesting. It's sort of a fun little thing. But from that, and then compare that to Twitter's new thing where now you're liking things on Twitter, it's not cool. It's not very cool, and it's obviously trying to compete with the whole Snapchat culture and Periscope, which is owned by Twitter, and all this stuff. It's okay, but it's not really that good. I don't think it's going to catch on nearly as much as Facebook hopes for it to, although I am already seeing people using it. I just don't see it as being viewed as this revolutionary new thing that Facebook is doing. It's just yet another feature that Facebook has added. And by the way, you've already got it. If you have the Facebook mobile app, you've already have the ability to use this functionality. So you don't need to worry about downloading any updates or anything. It just kind of works right now. So it's it's all right, but it's not the best thing that Facebook could have done. I don't think it's that great. Honestly, I'll probably use it once or twice. It's just, it's okay. Speaking of Facebook, by the way, YouTube and Facebook are 2 ways to get in contact with us. We have a YouTube channel, Hot News Talk Radio on YouTube, where we're streaming live right now. By the way, go to YouTube and then search for Hot News Talk Radio. And we're there streaming live here on Hot News Talk Radio. Also, by the way, if you go to Facebook and search for Hot News Talk Radio, you'll see our Facebook page. That's Hot News Talk Radio on Facebook. Be sure to check us out there on Facebook. Hot News Talk Radio on Facebook is the place to go. You'll stay updated on the local news, the national news, and the goings-on here at the radio station at Hot News Talk Radio AM 1240. And we're always here at hotnewstalkradio.com. as well. Again, I want to warn you, we're under a flash flood warning currently. There's a flash flood warning in effect where areas of eastern Tennessee, southeastern Tennessee, and southwestern South Carolina are under a flash flood advisory, although interestingly enough, Georgia doesn't appear to be under one, which is kind of interesting, but southeastern Tennessee is under a flash flood advisory, according to the National Weather Service, so be aware of that. By the way, if you have a weather app installed on your phone, like, say, the Weather Underground Storm app, you'll actually get updates like that streamed live to your smartphone, where if there's a national weather emergency in your area, your phone will start buzzing and tell you all about it, basically. And it's a very cool feature that you can add to your phone. One of the better things about smartphones, is some of the things that it does when you're not really looking at it. When you're not actively using your phone is almost when your phone is the most useful sometimes, because it can alert you to look at it. Like, say, I get a phone call, right? And my phone buzzes and I see that I get a phone call. I'm not actively using my phone 9 times out of the 10 that I get a phone call. That's just not how it works. And the same goes for alerts. Like, say I get a message on Facebook Messenger because I use it a lot. Or say I get a like on Twitter. It used to be favorites, and now they changed it because they're idiots over there at Twitter. But I used to get, likes on Twitter, and I would go there and I would see that I got a like on Twitter because my phone buzzed. Or there would be somebody streaming who I know on Periscope, and I get alert because of that, and I get to see what they're streaming on Periscope. It's all these things that now I'm not missing out on because my phone will alert me that it's happening. And that's one of the benefits of having a smartphone is nowadays there's basically no excuse to miss anything, especially if you have an app like, say, Explore Chattanooga, where now you can get all sorts of information about Chattanooga, and you'll know what exactly is happening in the area live to your phone. There's no excuse now not to. There's no excuse to miss anything nowadays. If you've missed something, there's no excuse for it at this point because you should have seen it already. The phone rings or whatever, you know that it's happening. If you're within reach of your phone, there's no excuse anymore. It's just there is none. There's no excuse whatsoever. And the fun thing is too, there's all sorts of different apps to choose from, and the top apps are changing every single day. Like right now, one of the top apps is, of course, Facebook Messenger, Twitter, the Facebook app, and Snapchat. Those are all in the top 10. But just a few days ago, there was an app that burst to the top for no reason, seemingly. That was actually the only app which you could receive Kanye West's new album streaming over. That was the only way you could get it at the time. So obviously, it's very fickle. The top apps is a very fickle thing. It changes constantly, and that's just the world of marketing too. Anyway, the world of marketing is changing constantly. Like right now, if we look at the top apps currently on Android, number 1 is Messenger, which everyone has. Number 2 is Facebook, which again everyone has. 3 is Color Switch, which is a game. 4 is Snapchat. 5, get this, is Kendall and Kylie, as in Kendall and Kylie Jenner, like, you know, the two girls who are the daughters of the female currently known as Caitlyn Jenner, right? Formerly known as Bruce Jenner. And you got Pandora Radio, Instagram, Flash Keyboard, YouTube Music, Candy Crush Jelly Saga. Some of the top apps are ones that you just would not expect to be top apps. Like, say, Netflix is all the way down at number 11. It doesn't even make the top 10. But then number 9 is YouTube Music, which is something that you wouldn't even think of. YouTube Music, by the way, is YouTube's new-ish service that allows you to listen to music streamed from YouTube. It's as it describes itself, a YouTube app built just for music. It partners itself with Vivo and all sorts of other YouTube partners to bring music videos to your smartphone. It works really well. It's purportedly ad-free. That's probably soon to change, but it is, decent. I don't really use it that much myself just because I usually just watch music videos straight on the YouTube channel or the YouTube app without going through a third-party channel, but some people find use for it. The YouTube music app is apparently built to view any video, album, or artist, and it starts a nonstop station, kind of like Pandora, and it has personalized stations that learn your tastes and a home tab with recommended tracks just for you, it says. So if you use your phone a lot for music, then you can use, say, Google Play Music for MP3s, and then you can use the YouTube Music app for, say, watching your music videos. So it's useful, although I don't really use it that much. I can see why a lot of other people would. The Google Play Music app, by the way, if you have a Gmail account, is probably, and you have a lot of music downloaded to your computer as well, is probably the best way to listen to music on your smartphone, honestly. If you're not using an iPhone anyway, because the iPhone, it comes with iTunes. It's pretty well set out for you. It's pretty well laid out. But even if you're not using an Android phone, Google Play Music is something to look at. It's got some really cool features. It's adding podcasting soon-ish. Podcasts aren't really there yet, but they will be soon, as far as I recall. Podcasts aren't built into Google Play Music yet, which is where iTunes does have a leg up in that regard, because iTunes has had podcasts for forever, basically. And Google Play Music is just now learning that, oh, hey, maybe we should put podcasts in our app. So iTunes does have that benefit. And I listen to a lot of podcasts on Android, so I use Podcast Addict to listen to my podcasts on my phone. The Podcast Addict tends to be, I think anyways, the best podcasting app on Android. It formats everything the way I like it. You can sort things any way you like by all sorts of different criteria. You can adjust things however you will. I think it's great. Podcast Addict is a really good app for Android for podcasts, which is kind of weird that I would be talking about podcasts on radio. You'd think that wouldn't have any crossover. But honestly, podcasting is not a huge competition to radio, especially news radio. Because when you're listening to a podcast, you're not finding out what's happening live right now. A podcast is something that was recorded the day before or the year before or what have you. I listen to podcasts that are really old, and that's okay because that's like watching a movie that's 20 years old. There's nothing wrong with that, but I'm not watching the news, if you get what I'm saying. It's not the same thing. And podcasts are similar to that analogy where it's like watching a movie versus watching 24-hour news. It's not the same thing. You're not going to get the same live updates. It's not timely. But radio, on the other hand, is 24/7. At least our radio station is 24/7, bringing you the news constantly. We have Fox Radio News at the bottom of the hour and CBS Radio News at the top of the hour, every hour. So you always get that streaming straight to either your smartphone with the TuneIn Radio app, or to your car radio over 1240 AM on your radio dial, or you'll even get streaming live on the website, hotnewstalkradio.com. By the way, get the TuneIn Radio app for your smartphone. That's TuneIn Radio on your smartphone, and search for Hot News Talk Radio, and you'll be able to listen to us streaming live to your smartphone. That's Hot News Talk Radio on your smartphone, streaming live straight to your smartphone. Hot News Talk Radio. You'll be able to listen to us streaming live that way to your smartphone. TuneIn Radio is great, by the way. I really love it because it's easy to use. It does sometimes have an ad before the stream. I'm not a huge fan of that, but TuneIn Radio is so simple to use. Let's go to the App Store and get it. So I'm in my Google Play Store, but you can be in whatever App Store you happen to use on your iPhone, if you have one. Most people do. And I'll search for, let me get to it, TUNEIN. It's all one word, TuneIn. And the first suggestion pops up, TuneIn Radio. I'll tap on that, and now I can just download it. Actually, I've already got it installed, so I'll just open it. And it might take a few minutes for you to install it. That's fine. I wouldn't recommend installing many apps on 4G, by the way, because you can run your data down doing that. Let me turn my volume down because I don't want to blow my ears out. Oh, no. There we go. So I'll turn that off. But now I'm listening to Hot News Talk Radio on the TuneIn Radio app, and it really is just that simple. It works that easily. You might have to watch an ad beforehand, but usually not. And it just works. If you add it to your favorites, which you can do by hitting the upper right-hand corner, you'll see a heart there, the upper right-hand corner of your screen. Tap on that, and then you'll be able to get to Hot News Talk Radio easily just by going to your favorites on your profile. So you hit the upper left-hand corner that has the 3 lines. Then you'll hit My Profile, and then you'll see Hot News Talk Radio is favorited. You report the world decides, tap on that. Now you're listening to Hot News Talk Radio. Super easy, super simple. It couldn't sound any better either. You can also, if you have Bluetooth in your car radio, which a lot of people do nowadays with the newer cars, connect your smartphone up with your Bluetooth radio, and you can listen to Hot News Talk Radio streaming live that way, straight to your car radio, which you can do now even if you're out of range of the radio station. You could be all the way up in Canada and be listening to us this way. In fact, the International Space Station has an internet connection. So you could, technically speaking, stream Hot News Talk Radio live to the International Space Station with a 48K per second stream, which I'm pretty sure the ISS can handle. So there's a great way to listen to Hot News Talk Radio. It sounds great. It's the way that I usually do it at my house because I live way far away somewhere in the middle of nowhere. So it's a great way to listen to Hot News Talk Radio, AM 1240, and hotnewstalkradio.com as well. So you can listen to us streaming live. I just took off my jacket because it's a blisteringly warm day today here in the office. It's actually super warm. And the way to stay updated on the weather, by the way, is to get the Bloom Sky app. And we've done something cool. We're actually partnered with Bloom Sky in a sense. Let's launch that real quick here. Tap on Bloom Sky, and you'll see, if you launch that app and then you look, you'll see that Chattanooga right now, Hot News Talk Radio in Chattanooga, it's 55 degrees. It's supposed to get all the way up to 63 before the end of the day, and then down to 54. And it's going to be a reasonably okay warm day today, but the temperature is going to be getting down pretty quickly as the day goes by, especially as the sun goes down. Sun came up really early today, by the way. Did you notice that? The sun was up really quickly. Hey, one app to get if you're looking at different events that are happening in Chattanooga and you want to stay up to date on what exactly is going on, because there's a lot going on in Chattanooga. A great app to get, I'll bring it up here real quick, is Explore Chattanooga. And it's a great app. You can download that to your smartphone, and then you'll be able to see what all's going on here in the Chattanooga area. Now, be aware, at least on Android, there are 2 Explore Chattanooga apps. One has a C with a green background. That's the one you want to get, because apparently there's another one that does basically the same thing. I think it's made by a Chinese company. I don't know. It's not really that great. But the other one that's by Discover Anywhere Mobile, that's the one you want to get. It looks really great. You can get all sorts of different events going on, like, say, accommodations. You want to see what accommodations are out there, arts, history, and culture, attractions, dining, local services, outdoors, shopping, accommodations with meeting spaces if you're wanting to have a meeting, guest ranches, hostels, that's just for accommodations. And there's all sorts of different things about restaurants, event calendar built into the app so you can see what's going on. And like I say, now with a smartphone, there's no excuse to not be informed. There's zero excuse now to not be informed. If you're uninformed, that's only because you have not done well in making yourself informed, because the smartphone is the perfect platform for being aware of what exactly is happening. Think about it this way. You can get right now on your smartphone. Let me launch this real quick. You can actually get an app called Feedly, Feedly, Feedly to your smartphone. And with that app, you can download that and you'll be able to get all your news streaming straight to your phone. You can curate which news sites you want to use. So let's say you want to get the news from the Hot News Talk Radio Twitter. Okay, you can add that. And let's say you want to get your news from Zero Hedge. Okay, you can add that. You want to get your news from Fox and CBS. You can add those to your stream. And then all you have to do is every morning, when you read your news like you normally would, instead of reading the newspaper, which you can add, by the way, as a source, you can add the newspaper to Feedly, so then you don't have to keep going to different websites. All you have to do is scroll through those different news stories, and there you go. And the fun part is you can categorize all these different news sites into different sections. So I have a section for tech. I have a section for local, which has all the different local media websites on it. I have a section for business, which has all the financial and stuff, financial business stuff on there too. So I got Wall Street Journal. I've got, again, Zero Hedge. I've got The Economist. I've got, International Business Times, all this stuff in my business section. And so I've curated my own newspaper with articles from different people who I like. You can even curate based on who's written the article too, by the way. Like, say, if I really like the articles that Cyrus Farivar over at Ars Technica writes, I can add him as a source and I'll get all his articles on Feedly. So it's very cool stuff. It works extremely well. And that's really what's going to be killing the print medium in the future in terms of print news. Because why would anyone go to get a print article when you can get it straight to your smartphone? Instead of buying an item repeatedly, which you really are doing when you buy a newspaper or a periodical, instead of buying one of these things repeatedly, why not instead just have it streaming straight to my phone where I can access it anytime I want? I'm not worried about scheduling or anything like that. The smartphone is killing our modern idea of scheduling anyway. It's killing our modern idea of workspaces. There are more and more people working from home because if you work on the internet, why do you need to go to the office? You could just work from home. You get everything done. And some people actually work better when they work from their homes. So there's next to no reason to not be at your house when you're working a job like, say, coding or anything like that. It's amazing. We'll talk more about this in just a few minutes.
I'm blowing everything up. We're starting over. I'm doing a new show. I want guys who push it to the middle of the table and go over the top. Take a risk, fail miserably. I'm right, and I'm not wrong, and I'll never back down. Conflict works. Allow it.
It's The Herd with Colin Cowherd. Right here and everywhere. Noon Eastern.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds. We'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
While politicians debate climate change and taking our guns, they leave America vulnerable to disaster. You need to act now to keep your family safe and prepared. Do you have an emergency plan? Do you have long-term storage food? Do you have the skills and mindset to survive a disaster? If not, what are you waiting for? Call P5 Preparedness right now, 423-602-2175. Do you honestly think the government is going to help you? If you do, you are wrong, dead wrong. Don't get caught unprepared. Let the experts at P5 Preparedness get you ready for any emergency or disaster situation. Today, we offer a wide range of classes for the beginner on how to prepare, as well as the expert prepper. We stock a wide range of supplies, including long-term storage food, water filtration, outdoor gear, tactical gear, and plate carriers. P5 Preparedness, East Brainerd Road, between I-75 and Gun Barrel Road. You will see the Army Deuce and a Half truck. 423-602-2175, 1309 Panorama Drive, Chattanooga. P5preparedness.com.
I'm going to Carter Shooting Supply.
Carter Shooting Supply.
That's right, Carter Shooting Supply. They're having a great sale on all of their guns right now, and it's name brands like Smith & Wesson, Ruger, Springfield, their AR-15s. They've got the hottest gun in the land right now, the Sky 9mm. Man, it comes in all the cool colors. If you're an Alabama fan, they've got crimson. If you're a big orange fan, they've got an orange one. You know, all the women are loving the pink one in Tiffany blue. Plus, it has a lifetime warranty replacement. If the gun is stolen, All you need is your police report or receipt, and they'll replace it free. It has a 60-day full money-back guarantee. That's Carter Shooting Supply. They're in Harrison right there at 6210 Highway 58.
Are they online?
Yes, they are. That's cartershootingsupply.com, or give them a call, 423-344-1099. Now, this sale's not going to last too long, so you need to hurry up and get there. And they do have a great indoor shooting facility. You can get your Tennessee handgun carry permit also. That's Carter Shooting Supply, 423-344-1099.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
AM 1240 Hot News Talk Radio with your Hot News Now update. A 40-year-old man was shot in the leg on Tunnel Boulevard at 3:45 p.m. yesterday. The victim didn't know of any suspect information. The criminal violent crimes investigators are still following all leads. He suffered from 2 non-life-threatening gunshot wounds to the leg. If you have any information on this crime, call 423-698-2525. In Bradley County, an arrest has been made after over 100 tires were dumped into the backyard of Faith Memorial Church. Jimmy Dupree, the pastor, discovered the tires last week. Sheriff Watson says, "We worked this case throughout the weekend. After removing all those tires from the church campus and after following several leads, we were able to file charges against Joshua Evans for aggravated criminal littering, which is a Class E felony," says Sheriff Watson. The Tennessee Aquarium Board of Trustees elected Keith Sanford as the new president and CEO of the Tennessee Aquarium. He's succeeding Charlie Arant, who served as the aquarium's president and CEO for more than 20 years. If it's going on in the Tennessee Valley, it's going on Hot News Talk Radio.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
Cloudy skies will continue through the afternoon. A few late showers will roll back in from the south, highs of around 60. Tonight, more rain and thunder showers will march in. Some of that rain locally, heavy overnight, lows lower 50s. Dropping temperatures with lingering showers Wednesday, with some of the showers changing to mountain snow showers Wednesday night. Check out the Fresh All New Wine Conference in Abba's House, March 6th through the 10th. Pastor Ron Phillips welcomes Perry Stone, Tommy Bates, Randy Caldwell, and others for this week of encouragement and renewal. More at FONW.com. And I'm SMORE Team 12 Chief Meteorologist Patrick Orr. On AM 1240, Hot News Talk Radio.
When the weather turns bad, turn to AM 1240 Hot News Talk Radio. On the net, hotnewstalkradio.com. Follow us on Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. From the Hot News Talk Radio Weather Center. Chattanooga, we've got you covered. When the weather turns bad, the Tennessee Valley turns to Hot News Talk Radio.
Go, 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 go.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
Instagram is a great way to stimulate your business, especially in the restaurant industry and possibly the hair care industry too. For radio, not so much, because what we post about, just us walking around, I guess. But no, when it comes to especially restaurants, Instagram is a great way to stimulate your business and to move it forward in terms of awareness. Now, the thing about Instagram, which is of course an app on your smartphone, the thing about Instagram is people who use Instagram are constantly scrolling down. Think about the mentality of Instagram. If you've ever used it, you're constantly scrolling down. It's very passive. You're probably not going to remember what you saw 5 minutes ago. So your marketing has to really stand out. So a daily special type thing on Instagram is a great way to make your business pop that much more. Now, the thing with social media marketing that people always get wrong is they'll try it for half a second and then pull out. And the same thing happens with radio advertising. They try it for half a second and they pull out, and they don't understand that you need to build up a listening over time. Because if you listen to the David Tulis show, Confederate Mike was talking about how one ad can make someone come into your store. And that's true, but somebody has to hear that one ad, right? The one person who's going to come in needs to hear that one ad. And the same thing goes with Instagram. Instagram and social media especially is very time-based. So say you're a business and you're working on Instagram and you're trying to get followers, you're trying to get that guy to come in, you have to make sure that you're posting at the right times. There are peak hours for posting. Because let's say you post in the middle of the workday, chances are I'm not checking Instagram, at 2:30. I'm not doing that. I might, because my work schedule's weird, but most people are not going to do that. And I'm definitely not going to a restaurant at 2:30. Think about that too. I'm definitely not going out to eat at 2:30. The best time to post would be at 11:30 if you're trying to hit that lunch crowd, because you got the people who are saying, I want to go, I'm thinking about where I'm going to go for lunch. I don't know what I'm doing. Let me check my Instagram real quick. And they're scrolling through, and then they see Joe Blow's restaurant daily special, 10% off this or that, or $5 burritos or whatever. Aha, you got them. You got that one guy to come in, which is that one extra face in the door. And it doesn't cost anything to start up an Instagram account either. This is something that you can do just in your spare time. You can work on it for 30 minutes a day, and it just works. You do it straight from your phone. You take a photo, you post it, it's done, it's out there. It's easy. Instagram is easy. Now, Instagram doesn't really help out radio that much, unfortunately. I wish it did, but Instagram really doesn't help radio that much, because it'd be mostly just pictures of the same stuff over and over again. That's sort of the disadvantage that radio has over some other mediums, where we're really not moving around too much outside of the building, right? I mean, we do, but it wouldn't be very interesting to look at. Other mediums have that benefit, us not so much, and that's okay, because some things work for some people and some things don't work for others, and that's fine. But Instagram is a great way to boost your business anyway if you're trying to hit that. Especially, I really push Instagram for businesses that cater in food, because food is something that I have to kind of see to be hungry, if you know what I mean. Like, I might not even think that I'm hungry until I see that, and then I see $5 burritos, I go, oh, hey, what do you know? So then that gets me to go somewhere, and you have to give, where it is and all that sort of thing. But it's a great way to do that. And you can also sponsor a post on Instagram for not too much money. So it's a great marketing ploy, I guess. It's a great marketing thing that you can do. But I wouldn't rely on that as your main mode of marketing. That might get a few people in, but you need consistent, repetitive marketing to get people to come into your door, which, of course, you offer on radio. We have that. But internet is good for one or two guys. You'll hit a few people. It's good for specials. But in terms of repeatedly, I'm hitting them over the head with this, combining social media with radio is a great way to get people to walk into your door. So it's a wonderful platform. Social media has opened up the doors for a lot of marketing, but it's not the end all be all, right? It's just not. Like TV wasn't the end all be all. It's just not, because there's so many other forms of marketing. It just adds one more to what you have to do. Think about Coca-Cola, right? Coca-Cola, when it markets, and I just want to talk about this for half a second, just because I thought of it now and I want to get it out there. When Coke advertises everywhere. Coke is on everything. They've got canopies, right? You see Coke canopies all the time. You've got signs. You've got TV advertisements. The theater stuff. The cups are everywhere. You think American, you think the color red. You think Coke, probably. Unless you're thinking the color white when I say Coke, which in which case you need help, actually. You should go to talk to somebody about that. But anyway, no, you think the color red and white, you're thinking Coke, man. It's what you think of. And so repeated, consistent marketing over years and years built up that brand to where it is now. So imagine if Coke scaled back everything and said, we're only doing social media now. That wouldn't work. Coke's brand would tank. They would lose money that way. You still have loyalty. You still have recognition. But imagine if all of Coke's marketing, all of it, scaled back to just the sign in front of its business and the social media ads. It would never work. Maybe, well, not never, but it would definitely not work right now. There's no way. And you run into people like that all the time. Say, oh, well, I'm going to pull back my advertising. I'm just going to do social media. That's a good way to do it. That's a good form of advertising, but it's not the end all be all. It's just not. So it doesn't end with social media. And the thing with social media, too, is it's kind of a fickle thing. Remember MySpace? Everyone went nuts about MySpace, and it lasted a good long time. But then guess what? It crashed. And young people don't know what MySpace is. Ask somebody. Ask some kid who's 8 years old. Hey, do you remember MySpace? Guarantee you they're not going to remember MySpace. They never used it. I used it in the very end of its life cycle and then moved over to Facebook because that's what everyone did. That's what everyone did. And Facebook, it's the number one right now, but so was MySpace. You got to think about these things. MySpace was very pre-2007, pre-consolidation of the internet stuff. It was very Web 1.0. But now you got Facebook, very Web 2.0, mobile apps, all that stuff. It'll probably last a little bit longer, but it's not going to be a forever thing. To be a forever thing, you have to have reliance. You have to have consumers. You have to have people who are not willing to move from this to the other thing, because people have accounts on everything. You got accounts on Instagram. You got an account on Twitter. You have an account on Facebook. You have an account on LinkedIn. You have an account on Bebo. You have an account on anything else. So it's not a matter of loyalty. Loyalty does not exist in the app world. Loyalty does not exist in the world of the internet. It just doesn't. You can't get it. So I just want to sort of rant about that for half a second, because I was thinking about it last night about how loyalty just isn't a thing with the internet as a whole when it comes to what websites we visit, because we don't think about the internet the same way we think about regular businesses. When I walk through the doors of a business, I'm not thinking of the brand so much as I'm thinking about the people who are there. When I walk through the doors of a locally owned business, I'll see the same cashier probably every time, because I'll go in around the same time every time. I'll see the same cashier, I'll see the same manager, and we get to sort of know each other a little bit. We exchange names and that sort of thing. And she knows what I want every time. You know what I mean? But with the internet, it's very impersonal. You open an account and it works. Now, it's so convenient. It's super convenient, but it's not nearly as personal as walking in through the door. The older I get, the more I realize how much I want that personal connection. It's kind of interesting how that works. Maybe it's just the lonelier I get. I don't know which, but but it's interesting, that disconnect, which is a weird thing to talk about on an app show. It's all about how great the internet is and how great apps are. They are. But again, it's not the be all end all. It just isn't. It's great. It's amazing. It's a wonderful tool. It's great for our convenience, but it's not everything. Kind of like you said, books are not everything. TV is not everything. Movies are not everything. You can go on. So it's interesting, though, how it does add so much, but it's not everything. Well, speaking of everything, it seems like Amazon sometimes has everything. If you go on Amazon, you can pretty much find anything you want. I was looking the other day at silver coins on Amazon, and you can actually buy, this is not a joke, you can actually buy Nazi silver Reichmarks, 5 Reichmark coins, I believe it is, on Amazon. And the best part is, on the description, it says, great conversation piece. I'm sure it is. A friend walks in and sees on my coffee table 5 Reichmarks with swastikas on them. They say, wow, what a cool conversation piece. Why do you have that? No, probably they run out the door and say, oh, great, I'm friends with a neo-Nazi. Not again. Because that happens down here a lot, actually. I mean, you can buy anything on Amazon. You can buy vacuum flasks. You can buy all sorts of chemistry stuff. Great for synthesizing meth. Not so great for just home use. You can buy even groceries now with Amazon. You can buy groceries on Amazon now. It's ridiculous. It's crazy. It's nuts. It's great, though. So Amazon's app has changed a lot, by the way. Amazon's app allows you to do something called showrooming, which is something that makes people mad if they catch you doing it, particularly Best Buy. If you showroom in Best Buy, they'll kick you out. It's happened. Not to me, but I know people. It's happened. So showrooming is when you walk into a store and you have no intention of buying anything, but you're looking for a particular thing so that you can take a picture of it, see what the price is physically, check the price online, and then go buy it there. That's showrooming. Showrooming is often used just to see what the item looks like in real life, and then you go and buy it online. That's showrooming. And it makes retailers really mad because you're basically taking the sale right away from them and putting it into Amazon or eBay or Overstock or whatever other website you're using. It saves you money, but it does kind of kill local business in a very big sense. It really does hurt local business a lot. It's not to say that it's bad you're doing it. It's just the retailers hate it when you do that. So yeah, I wouldn't recommend it all the time, but it makes them mad. Now, showrooming is great for some things like electronics, not so much for things like groceries, because price of groceries really does depend on where you are, and you're not going to get groceries shipped from the West Coast where it's cheaper for oranges or something like that. It just doesn't work that way. Actually, West Coast would be cheaper for grapes, and Florida is better for oranges, generally speaking, and Georgia's great for peanuts. So if you're in Georgia, you actually probably have some of the lowest peanut prices per capita in the area in the United States. So that's something interesting to think about anyway. But yeah, no, Overstock.com has a really good app as well if you're wanting to buy things online. Amazon.com has a really great app if you're wanting to buy things online. And eBay has an app that makes it really easy to sell things online as well. In fact, eBay has a service where if you scan the barcode of something, it will automatically generate a listing for it. And all you have to do is adjust what condition it's in, whether it's been opened or not. And it gives you a recommended price, and you put it up for auction, and it's that easy. It really is just that easy. Like, you scanned it, you adjusted a few parameters, now it's up for sale and you can make money off of it. It's so simple. But another app that's really simple that makes it easy to sell things is called Wallapop. Now, the interesting thing about Wallapop is that it's very local economy minded, I guess. Maybe not entirely, but it does seem to be very local economy minded in the sense that you are buying things and selling things to people locally. And it makes it easy to do that. It's very much like Craigslist, and I'm sure the guys at Wallapop would be mad that I make that that comparison. But it does remind me a lot of Craigslist, but prettier. Craigslist, when you go on its website, again, very 90s in its layout. Craigslist is very 90s when you go on it. You probably didn't think about it, but go back to Craigslist. Like, seriously, go to Craigslist right now and think about the layout. It's very 90s, not app-based at all. It's just 90s old, bad. I mean, if you like that aesthetic, that's cool, but it doesn't look very good. It doesn't look very modern. Wallapop, on the other hand, actually is very modern looking. It looks good. It handles well. You can sell things easily. And let me just read you some of what it says about itself. It's the free, fast, and easy way to buy and sell local items straight from your phone, it says. You can discover amazing deals on pre-loved items. That's a good way to put it. On sale by your neighbors. Wish local is the safest and easy way to sell your items and find local buyers. So what Wallapop does, and it sounds like a town in Australia, it's not. Wallapop, what it does is you can buy and sell things straight from your phone to other people. You set a price, they can pay with credit card or with cash in person, and it just, again, works. Wallapop is great for buying and selling things really quickly. You'd say you want to get rid of something, instead of having a whole garage sale, you just sell it right then. There it is. Like, say I want to go to within 1 mile of where I am. Right now, there's someone who's selling a bunch of books. There's someone here who's selling some shoes, someone who's selling a belt, apparently. Here's a mirror for a G37X. I don't know what that is. I know it's a car. Here's a $65 E-Machine computer spelled wrong. I guarantee you that computer is not worth $65, but someone might buy it. I don't know. A really grungy keyboard. There's cool stuff, though. Like, here's a $200 120 hertz TV that's unopened. That's a good deal, actually. That's totally a great deal, assuming that it works. So there's good stuff that you can find on Wallapop. The thing about it, you got to be careful with some stuff, but most of it, you're going to find some neat deals. So it's not bad at all. Somebody selling a 42-inch Samsung TV for only $100. Again, not bad at all. Lots of Timberland shoes, or Timberland, I should say, Timberland shoes, because Timberland is a producer. So there's a lot of good stuff on Wallapop that you can buy and sell, and it's good for selling things especially. It's good for selling different items that you just don't want, because that is what it's designed for. It's designed for just selling things that you don't really want right now. So there you go. Wallapop app on your smartphone, great for that. Again, I want to say get the Bloom Sky app for your smartphone. That's BLOOM Sky, Bloom Sky for your smartphone. You'll be able to see what the weather is like with a live view right now. That's the Bloom Sky app straight to your smartphone. You can actually see what the weather is like currently on your smart device. All you have to do is download the Bloom Sky app to your smartphone, search for Chattanooga, and you'll be able to see us streaming straight live to your phone. You'll be able to see the weather, what it's like here in Hickson at Hot News Talk Radio's special weather station. There's a lot of financial apps out there, by the way, but one that I want to sort of call your attention to that's really cool, and a feature that maybe you don't know about, is you can print your own checks. You actually can. Checks are simply an order to pay. A check does not have to be from your bank. So when we're talking about checks don't have to come from your bank. They don't have to come from a financial institution. You can actually print out checks just fine. In fact, checks, believe it or not, have been printed on stone tablets. A check is just an order to pay. And there's a bunch of different apps you can use to print out checks. The best one, though, is called GNU Money. That's GNU Cash, I should say, GNU Cash, which you can use to print out your own checks. You can do financial reports. You can do all sorts of stuff with it. And the best part is you don't have to pay money. You can do the same thing with Excel, although that does cost some cash. But it's a really great way to save some money, because banks, for some reason, charge money for checks. I think that's stupid. But hey, whatever. If you want custom checks that have I don't know, that have memes on them or something, then you can print them out with GNU Cash. My checks all have Pepe on them, so I've got that going for me. So it's a really cool app that you can use to print out a whole bunch of checks. Mine actually has Bain on it. It's a big check, so I can print out a lot of checks on my computer without having to pay any money. Excel does the same thing. Microsoft Excel will allow you to print checks, and again, GNU Cash will let you do the same thing. Microsoft Excel is just one more way, actually, you can save money. One thing, by the way, if you're in college and let's say your teacher wants you to have Excel or Microsoft Office and you don't want to pay for it. Now, some institutions, if you're a student, you can get it for free from Microsoft, and that's cool. But here's the thing. there are two alternatives to Microsoft Office and Microsoft Excel that actually will save files in the Excel format and the MS Office format. So you don't have to worry about that. It's called LibreOffice, and then there's also OpenOffice. I prefer LibreOffice, but LibreOffice will let you save Excel files, and the best part is that it's free. So this is a desktop app, I'll grant, but if you're in college or you're working in a field where they're constantly wanting Excel and you don't want to pay for it, or maybe you've got a project going on and if someone says, oh, can I get this in an MS Office file? Well, if you get LibreOffice, you can actually download it for free straight to your computer, and you don't have to worry about paying licensing fees or paying Microsoft if you're opposed to Microsoft or what have you. So you can actually get it for a it's pretty small. It works great. It's got a lot of features. I think, honestly, this is my unbiased opinion. Actually, there's no such thing as an unbiased opinion. Honestly, I do believe that LibreOffice is better than Microsoft Office. That's not even a joke. I really do believe that Microsoft Office is not nearly as good as LibreOffice. Well, this is just coming in from the news. The state of Tennessee has just declared the 50 caliber Barrett sniper rifle is the state's official rifle. If there was any doubt that we were living in the South, it's now been flushed down the toilet. There is no doubt now. There's no doubt that we are living in the South now, because this wonderful state of Tennessee, you got to love it, has its own state rifle. The official rifle of the state of Tennessee is the Barrett 50 caliber sniper rifle, because it's actually made in Tennessee, used by service members every day. Wonderful rifle. You can actually buy one yourself. So there, there you go. By the way, if you're wanting to buy and sell guns online, Arms List is a great way to buy and sell firearms online. Just go to armslist.com. It has classifieds for Tennessee and Georgia. All you have to do is get it sent to your particular FFL dealer, and you can get weapons shipped straight to your house, or not to your house, but to your firearms dealer with no problem whatsoever. There's a lot of stuff up for sale on Arms List. Some of it is kind of inexpensive. Some of it's a little bit overpriced, but you know what? That's just how it is. But still, it's pretty cool. You can buy and sell lots of stuff on Arms List right now. There's someone who's selling a 12 gauge Mossberg 500 roll blocker. So kind of cool stuff for $445, way overpriced, but you know what? That's just how the cookie crumbles. He added a lot of stuff to it that he probably shouldn't have, but that's just, again, how it is. Oh, well. Arms List is great for buying and selling guns. There's also, I can't remember the name of it now. I totally lost it. There's Arms List, and then there's another one. Let's just say Arms List is the great one. You can buy and sell a gun on the internet with, all you have to do is have it shipped straight to your FFL, and you can have it to your house within probably a week. You'd have a gun straight to your house within a week. Most people choose to pay with PayPal, by the way. PayPal is also having a mobile app. PayPal currently has a mobile app that you can use to transfer money from you to someone else. It doesn't have to be a business. If you notice, if you go to the store, you'll notice that a lot of kiosks have an option to pay with PayPal. You can actually enter your email address and it'll charge straight to your PayPal account instead of to your credit card, which is kind of interesting. So if you're caught without your credit card, so you left your wallet at home, you actually still can buy items if you have your debit card connected to your PayPal account. And that's kind of the fun thing, because I have actually found myself in that situation where I did not have my wallet on me. I was dumb and I forgot them in my other pants, not even a joke. And I went to the store to buy stuff and I realized I didn't have my wallet. And I felt really embarrassed, and I realized I didn't need to say anything. I didn't say, oh, you got to carry all those items back. I'm sorry, I don't have my wallet. No, all I did was log in with PayPal, and I bought the items that way. So you can do that. You can actually buy things now without even having your wallet on you, without even swiping a card. You can actually buy items at a grocery store, and all you have to do is pay with PayPal. Now, there's arguments for and against that, but you actually can do that. It's amazing how quickly the world of technology is progressing. We're at the point now where you can print out guns, for heaven's sake. The world of technology is progressing so quickly, and I can't wait to see what comes next. We're talking about, there's virtual reality, there's augmented reality. Microsoft has endorsed virtual reality. Facebook just had a big event where they had a bunch of people wearing virtual reality headsets. The world of technology is changing very swiftly, and you have to be in on the game. You have to catch up. You have to be with it, because you can't, the excuse doesn't work anymore where you say, well, I'm too old. I don't need to use a smartphone. Listen, smartphones are designed to be as easy as possible to use. If you don't have a smartphone, you are missing out on so much. Business-wise, news-wise, information-wise, you are missing out on a whole world without your smartphone. You don't have a smartphone. That's one of the biggest mistakes you can make. In the business world, in your personal life, in the general world of the economy, you are missing out if you don't have a smartphone. Are you a small business owner and you're not making payments with or taking payments with credit cards? Because as much as we love cash at Hot News Talk Radio, we're all for a cash society. We're all for gold standard here. But the thing is, not everyone else is. I mean, we wish they were, but everyone else doesn't, not everyone else says, yeah, we need a cash economy. We need silver coins, yada, yada. Not everyone thinks that way. Most people don't. But here's the thing. You need to thrive. Your business needs to thrive. We want your business to thrive. Are you a local business person? We want you to succeed. That's what we're all about. We want you to succeed because we're all about the local people. And if you want to be a local player, you want to have your local business to thrive, you need to have a smartphone. You really do. You can get leads that way. You're texting back and forth with clients. You have apps now to help your business succeed. You're staying up to date on the news, and you can accept credit card payments now. If you have Square, it's just, there's all sorts of things, all sorts of benefits now to having a smartphone. You need to get a smartphone. You need one. It's absolutely necessary to existing in the business world today. This is Binary. Colin Cowherd's up next right here on News Talk Radio.
I'm blowing everything up. We're starting over. I'm doing a new show. I want guys who push it to the middle of the table and go over the top. Take a risk, fail miserably. I'm right, and I'm not wrong, and I'll never back down. Conflict works. Allow it.
It's The Herd with Colin Cowherd. Right here and everywhere. Noon Eastern.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
Fox News Talk 1240.
More businesses are facing problems and penalties for not complying with IRS rules. Business owners must file Form 1099 on or before February 28. Need assistance? EJ Pelton CPA will help. If you need 1099 help, call EJ Pelton Company at 332-3339. He will file those 1099s for you and keep the government off your back. EJ Pelton Company on Brainerd Road near the Belvoir Light and in Saudi Daisy on Dayton Pike north of Food City. Call 332-3339.
I wonder who's watching me now. The IRS.
From all of us here at Hot News Talk Radio, thank you for patronizing our sponsors. It's important that you support people that support and advertise with Hot News Talk Radio so we can continue to deliver the outstanding programs that you desire. And if you'd like to advertise on Hot News Talk Radio, you can email us at hotnewstalkradio@gmail.com. That's hotnewstalkradio@gmail.com. Or call 423-458-5563. That's 458-5563.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
Fox News Talk 1240.
On your signature, you can get $150,000. Can you believe that? $150,000 on your signature. Hi, I'm Bruce Krebs with the Entrepreneur Source. There's a program right now that you can get $150,000 on your signature with no pledge of collateral or personal guarantee. Call me at 423-875-5621 to learn more. 423-875-5621. You've been thinking about starting a business? Don't do it on your own. I have a proven track record for the last 13 years, a 96% success rate. I can guide you into a franchise where you will pay yourself through the startup phase with very low or little risk. Call me now. I'm Bruce Krebs at 423-875-5621. And make sure to listen to the Entrepreneur Hour every other Wednesday from 11 to 12 o'clock. Call me now, 875-5621.
If you have an event coming up, maybe it is your daughter's wedding, or maybe just a church or office party, then you need to select Choo Choo Barbecue. That's correct, Choo Choo Barbecue. Whether you like pork, chicken, or beef, Oh, yes. Choo Choo Barbecue with their savory rub flavor. Oh, my goodness. It's making me hungry right now. You add in their delicious smoked aroma, and you have set the table for a perfect meal with Choo Choo Barbecue. That's right, Choo Choo Barbecue. Why don't you give them a call right now? 423-843-9554. That's 843-9554. Call 423-843-9554. Choo Choo Barbecue. You know where it's located, off of Hickson Pike, right there at the Valley Brook area. Don't kid yourself. Your stomach is already on the way.
Hi, I'm Sabrina with Sabrina Realty Associates. Now is a great time to sell your home. In our area, inventory is at an all-time low, which translates into higher sales prices. Call us today at 423-499-7780 to set up a free consultation and discuss our unique and aggressive marketing programs. We will provide you with a free market analysis to determine the right value of your home. Call us today at 423-499-7780 or visit our website at SabrinaRealty.com.
In the middle of our street.
Lay your burdens down at the Woodhouse. Leave all your worries at the door.
The perfect gift for the perfect match. Surprise her with a Woodhouse gift card. Call us today at 423-443-4478 or visit us online at chattanooga.woodhousespas.com.
If the South would have won, we'd have had it made. I'd probably run for president of the Southern states. The day Elvis passed away would be our national holiday.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds. We'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
WSDG Up next. In this hour of the herd, Trump rolls on. Get ready, folks. Clinton and Trump, that's going to be your choices for our next president. Plus, why Gronk is the NFL. The herd starts now.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen.
You guys can laugh at me all you want.
This is The Herd. The Herd. With Colin Cowherd.
I'm setting the tone.
Best show on radio.
This is The Herd.
Broadcasting live from Los Angeles. The Herd with Colin Cowherd starts now.
This is The Herd. Wherever you may be and however you may be listening, we are live in Los Angeles on iHeartRadio, Fox Sports Radio, and FS1. Christine Leahy is always joining me.
Are you going to continue air guitaring Nirvana over there?
I'll get to that in a second. It's a very, very big day for me yesterday. Very happy. My wife complained that I was watching videos for 3 hours on my phone and YouTube last night on the computer. She complained.
I also solved a life problem of yours, I'm hoping. Did you see the socks on your desk? Those are the solution to your life.
Thank you.
Try them out.
I've had a sock issue for years. Thank you. So it's hard to explain stardom. Take the NFL. Luke Kuechly is a tremendous football player. So is Earl Thomas and Cam Chancellor, Larry Donald and Carlos Dunlop. But they're not stars. They're just great players. J.J. Watt's a star. Richard Sherman's a star. Clay Matthews is a star. Troy Polamalu, he was a star. I'm be honest with you, I think Earl Thomas has a lot more range than Troy Polamalu. I think Seattle's secondary was better than that Pittsburgh one. Why is Troy a star? The look, the hair? Who knows? You can't explain it all the time. Who becomes a star? But the NFL is a lot like a presidential election. It's just a television show. And who becomes a star is hard to explain. Donald Trump won Nevada 3 straight. He is going to be the nominee for the conservatives. It is going to be Hillary against Donald Trump. That's hard to explain, right? He's big, he's loud, he's powerful, he's got good energy, he's got a hot wife, the arenas are packed. It's funny because
None of my liberal friends can get Trump, but yet none of my conservative friends understood Obama. And they're actually very similar. Maybe not on policy, but they both became movements. Conservatives, I had a friend who was a conservative strategist. He didn't get Obama. He said, Hillary's more qualified, right? He's like a first-term senator. He's a community organizer. He became a movement. Donald Trump has become a movement. And here's where they're similar. Donald Trump has no substance. What is his plan? Do you remember what Barack Obama ran on? And I voted for him. Hope. Change. Remember the poster? If Bill Belichick went into a Super Bowl, Coach, what's the strategy? Hope. No, change. That's not really a policy. Oh, he had Obamacare he was talking about, but didn't that seem ridiculous on the heels of the Clintons trying it and bombing? What's Trump's strategy? Build a big wall. Does that sound any less ridiculous than Obamacare did, that had already been tried with the Clintons and massively failed? Trump and Obama are movements. Think about when you went to an Obama rally, it was people crying, right? Young people, women, and minority groups, people who never had power. You go to a Trump rally and they're crying. Older people, men, and people who used to have power. People are flummoxed on the left by Trump, just like people on the right were flummoxed by Obama. Stardom is hard to explain, but in both Obama and Trump, it has gone from an election to a movement. It didn't really make sense that a guy we didn't know, who was a community organizer, who'd never run a business, who'd never run a state, beat Hillary soundly. She was more qualified. It doesn't make any sense that a real estate mogul with no political acumen, who's inappropriate more often than not, is blowing everybody away. But why is J.J. Watt a star and Richard Sherman and Troy Polamalu and Clay Matthews, but Larry Donald, Earl Thomas, Luke Kuechly, and Cam Chancellor aren't? Who can predict who's a star and who's not a star? And when elections become movements, the other side never understands it. And what is a movement, Colin? A movement's energy and will and momentum and passage and staying on message. Obama stayed on hope. It's not a real strategy. Trump stays on wall. It's not a real strategy. It's just it's a thing. It's a construction project, which he's really good at. He builds stuff. Wall, wall, wall. That's all he talks about. Wall, wall. Well, he builds stuff. He's pretty good at building stuff. He's going to build a big wall. It sounds absurd. So, and I watch this entire process, and I watch how flummoxed the left is with Trump. It sounds all like my conservative friends with Obama 8 years ago. I don't get it. I don't understand it. What's to get? Energy, will, message, stay on it. At the time, liberals were mad. They were mad at the Bush years. They were pissed. And Obama was their missile to beat the conservatives. Now conservatives are pissed. For 8 years, Obama has owned 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. And Trump is their missile head first into the Democrats. They're carrying their anger. Obama carried their anger and hope. Trump's carrying their anger and their hope. The side that's angriest going into a presidential election generally wins because they activate. More people vote for your side. Remember the turnout with Obama? People that never voted suddenly voted. You hearing that about Trump? People that have never voted are suddenly voting. The angrier side needs a carrier to their message and anger. It was Obama 8 years ago, hope and change. It's Trump now. Build that damn wall. So I'm in the middle, and I've got friends on both sides, and the message I'm hearing with Trump is what I heard 8 years ago with Obama. There aren't answers why J.J. Watt and Richard Sherman and Clay Matthews and Troy become television stars, and Luke Kuechly and Earl Thomas and Cam Chancellor and Larry Donald and Carlos Dunlap are as good a players and don't. Who can explain it? Is it the message? Is it the will? Is it the looks? Is it the hair? Is it the personality? Is it the packed arenas? I don't know. I've been in TV 30 years. I can't explain it. If you'd have told me after the first Kardashian show they would be a 15-year mega empire, I'd have said, what? I remember when the show The Biggest Loser came on the air. I thought it was mean-spirited. Who's going to sit around and watch heavy-set people be often humiliated on TV? It felt mean to me. 15 years later, everybody that's ever been on that show is a millionaire. Who can explain it? Who can explain movements? Who can explain TV stars? But man, I'm telling you, when you sit in the middle, and I'm a financial conservative and a social liberal, when you sit in the middle and you hear both groups 8 years separated, it is largely the same confusion. Some stuff, movements, you can't explain. It just is. It's a combination of a bunch of things. Good to have you in today. Also, we have Shannon Sharp and I are going to disagree vehemently on a topic. We may just argue for 10 minutes. I love Shannon Sharp, but it's interesting. This whole Gronk cruise, by the way, if you pick two words that you couldn't find two words in America less attractive to me for a vacation than Gronk cruise. There's nothing I'd rather do less than Gronk cruise. I would go on an African vacation, a Paris trip, a Bay Area weekend. A Gronk cruise sounds awful. But there is now this story out there, and I'm seeing it again and again and again, that, Gronk can be a goofball and everybody loves him. But when Cam celebrates, it's wrong. And I'll go back to what I've been saying for months now. We want our presidents to be presidential. We want our quarterbacks to be quarterback-ial. Is that you're allowed to be, as a tight end, a corner, a linebacker, a wide receiver, a running back, a complete goofball. Every time I criticize Des Bryant, people are like, let him be, let him be. I criticized Gronk, which I did 2 years ago at ESPN for being a goofball. Let him be, let him be. But we want our quarterbacks to be Russell Wilson, Tom Brady, Joe Montana. We want them in moments of chaos to be